Only thing that we have to think about when we think about a wealth doodle is abundance. So the only thing I'm recommending, if you want a challenge, is just to fill up your whole page. And I like to do that as soon as possible because a blank page is something kind of like empty space. I like to fill it up with chatter or with lines. And sometimes I'll just do some scribbling to get started. Any mark is allowed. Good. My judgment. That said, the next time we meet, next Friday, we'll be drawing a little slower. And see what that's like. And depending on what kind of tool you have that you're using. So it looks like Obusan wants to join us. So let's see. I hope you'll be drawing, Obusan. So hold on for a second and I'll patch you in. Hello.
Hello. I'm your fan.
Oh, thank you. I'm your fan too. You've been very nice. You come every time.
Sorry, I can't speak English.
No,
Sorry.
you're speaking English better than I speak Japanese. Oh, yes, you are.
Sorry.
Yes. Don't even say sorry. Will you be drawing with us tonight? Will you draw? Will you be drawing? Drawing?
Yes, and drawing.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay. What time will it be? What time is it there?
Now Japanese time is morning. Now morning.
Ah,
and
okay.
After job.
Okay. Well, all I know in Japanese is arigato. Thank you. And
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Your work is すごく好きです。
Okay. Okay.
I love you.
Okay. Talk to you again. Bye-bye. Let's see if I can. Bye-bye. Let's see. I think. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Okay, Natsuko. And hi, everybody. I'm not sure what your names are, but welcome to Doodle with me. And we are here to draw. Nothing in particular, although tonight is about money. And I've been thinking about it. I'm not going to say a whole lot about it, except that I do have a lot of thoughts about it. I actually just remembered, now that I'm drawing these money bags, it reminds me of Monopoly. And I used to play Monopoly, and I never understood what it was about. But I guess it's kind of about real estate. Yeah. And I actually never played the 45th president version of Monopoly. But I imagine it's the same. It's just all the property he owns. Or hopefully owned. We'll see what he ends up getting to keep. Now I'm thinking about King Midas. Do you remember King Midas? King Midas is a story about that king who, when I was a kid, it was really a powerful story for me because it was about a king and everything he touched turned to gold, and he loved having the power of turning things to gold. And spoiler alert, I think he ends up touching his beautiful daughter and she becomes a statue, a gold statue forever. So I guess we could talk about objectification. We could talk about our lust for wealth and how it can destroy our family. That could be the moral to the story, I guess. So again, just making marks. And speaking of real estate, I'm taking up all the real estate of the page. Just making marks, slow or fast. And even trying to see what it feels like to go slow. How it changes the way that you think, how it changes the way that you breathe. And just a reminder, we usually do this just for 30 minutes. And I'll end up probably doing one more doodle. And that goes to about, takes us probably at the latest 6:40. So, although we're trying to relax, I shouldn't be talking about time. Anyway, I hope people had a great week. And by great week, that the people that annoy you didn't annoy you that much. And by great week, that you tasted something you had not tasted before, or you got a little extra sleep. And I hope people are being healthy. Strangely today, I thought about I decided to start washing my hands even more than I have been, just because of COVID. And Tucson has one of the highest rates of COVID right now. And that's where I am. I'm at Tucson, in Tucson. And as I was washing my hands, I thought, you know, a little hot water with a lot of soap, it's not a bad thing. It feels kind of nice. So I recommend people do it. Enjoy that. Sometimes I think about that I'm a doctor on the old TV show MASH, because I could remember there must be a couple of scenes at least that stick in my memory of them talking about things as they were washing their hands, getting ready for surgery. So maybe we can bring that same feeling of important do or die qualities to washing our hands. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So this time I filled up the whole page. I think for the next drawing, we'll fold the page into thirds. No, we'll fold the page. Oh, I didn't fold well. Boy, good thing I don't have a cooking show. We'll fold the page. And when I say we, I just mean me. I can't get rid of some of my teacher language. I'm going to fold the page this way, and I'm going to doodle on a folded piece of paper. And I hope you're enjoying the doodling. And like I said, I tend to do shapes and things that are more recognizable, but you do not have to do that. You can just keep your lines going and moving any way that you like. There's no right or wrong way to do a doodle. There's just your way. And when you draw, you bring yourself to those lines, and it doesn't have to be anything. Sometimes when we're working for other people, it's kind of like a performance where we have to, a little bit like they've bought a fantasy, and we have to deliver on that fantasy. But when it comes to doodling, you don't have to be that fantasy. You're free of having to earn your keep. So those of you who are at the end of a long work day or work week, I salute you. And while we may be thinking about money today and drawing money, I hope that you have riches that are beyond that. Because in some ways, I feel like I settle for less when all I look at is my bank account. That said, I've got to survive. And I understand that need. But sometimes I like to pretend that I don't have to worry about it. So again, just drawing shapes. And sometimes what's nice is I draw a shape, and without judgment, I think, oh, would I like to try to draw that differently? Not what does it mean, but just that I can change what I'm doing. And sometimes the best kind of drawing is like a drawing that you do on an envelope when you're talking or watching some television. And you don't really think about it. You just keep on kind of filling in the space. And then at the end, you kind of wake up and you see something complicated, something surprising, something that has some kind of life to it. And that's the kind of thing that any of us can do. That's the kind of thing that we may buy art or sell art, but that's something that's like, I still don't feel can be bought or sold. Because it can always be generated again and again and again and again. And I think people sometimes forget that what artists do is not necessarily make things, but they create a process. And doodling is just a process. And that process, always the power of it, for me, if I'm going to go into manifesto mode, and since you're a captive audience, the power of it is something I don't think you can take away from artists, no matter how much they sell. I have worked with a lot of very famous artists, and there is a point where I can see that in their career, they start to lose the love of the process, and it just becomes more about a tool by which they can keep making bigger and bigger work. And that was disappointing to see, that as an artist, having a retrospective at a museum or being at the top of your game, that you kind of become a little bit like a factory. So each of us makes a choice about how much we want to participate in the market. And Fran Lebowitz, I've been watching that documentary called Pretend It's a City. And one thing she says that she noticed in New York was that at some point it went from being an art world to an art market. And that's kind of like when things changed for her about the city. Although she's still there, so she still believes in it. Now what I'm going to do is try to connect the folks with a lot of money and the folks with less money, just with lines. And let's just see what happens. Now, some of you may be going, wait a second, this isn't about doodling. This guy has a secret agenda. But I promise you, it's not completely a secret. So I guess this would be Reagan era trickle down situation. Maybe there's another solution to this problem. Because another thing that creativity does, I think, is once we're relaxed enough, once we stop playing the game of impressing each other, stop worrying about what I get out of a situation, I think what starts to happen for me is that I start to think more creatively, I'm more relaxed. And what I wish is that people who have money, people who have power, can start to think more creatively, because they're going to problem solve in ways that will be more beneficial. That's what I believe. So, I mean, yes, I'm very Pollyanna, but you know what? Someone's got to be it, because otherwise we will always be disappointed. Maybe so. At this point, oh, we've neared our time for us to end. So if you're doodling, please feel free to keep doodling. If you have more time, spend that time doodling some more. And I hope you didn't mind me spouting off all my little manifestos and beliefs. Every Friday they'll be different because every Friday we're different. So. All right. All right. Well, thank you for coming. We went a little over today, and I'm sorry I didn't have time to join with more doodlers, but it was fun to do this. You never know what a doodle will look like. I don't really care what the end result is. It's just how I feel at the end of it. And I hope that you had a good time tonight. So next Friday, we're going to try to keep it to 30 minutes, although we went a little over, but whatever. Time is not money. Anyway, we will be focusing on the theme Solo Mio, which is about quiet and solitude and the benefits of being introverted and spending some time alone. We'll do that together. So I hope you have a great Friday, a good weekend, and until next Friday, doodle. Bye.